Hurrah! Step right up, right this way, sir, right this way. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen. Show's about to begin. Hooray! How many of you used the World Book when you were kids for your social studies reports? Anybody? Okay. According to the World Book and most other references, Jake was 8½ feet tall. For a time, he was considered the tallest man in the world. By the time Jake was in the 3rd grade, he was 6 feet tall. By the time he finished the 6th grade at Vilas Elementary School in El Paso, according to his teacher, he was 7 feet tall. Just because they're looking doesn't mean they're laughing or they know a thing about you. Just because they're looking doesn't mean they're laughing or they know a thing about you. My day job is as a clinical psychologist, and every week I see people so stressed, so anxious, so depressed, they actually wish they would disappear. Can you relate? Have you ever felt that bad? Jake's trip to California, the offer to make movies, got him to change his thinking. When he changed his thinking, he changed his behavior. When he changed his behavior, he felt better. You know, maybe there's something to this giant stuff. Jake goes on to make 48 films at Century Comedies, starring with some of the top-rated talent of the era. They called him the world's tallest boy, a walking Woolworth Tower. And Woolworth Tower was the tallest building in the world in those days. Jake says, "I don't want to join the circus. I don't want them to call me a freak." And Jake's father says, "Jake, being a freak is a state of mind." Despite what all those self-help books tell you, real change is scary, isn't it? Do you remember the fear that went along with a major change? Maybe you're dealing with a scary change right now. And Harry says, "Welcome, Jake, and don't worry, more freaks out in the crowd than there are up here." Jake smiles back, and together they turn to face the onslaught. He wasn't content to sit in that sideshow tent and be an exhibit. And he'd walk around the Midway with a matched set of Colt 44 peacemakers with ivory handles. And people would laugh. They say, "Why, Jake, you don't have to shoot out the bullseye. All you have to do, your arms are so long, is poke the barrel through the middle of the target." In talking about his art, he says, "I want to abandon the path of those typical Southwest artists. You know, the purple mountain painters. And with brilliant strokes and bright colors, I want to embrace the world of modern art." Are you beginning to see that this was a gifted man? So often in life, we look at something, one thing about a person. They're very tall, they're very small, they're extremely overweight, they're scarred terribly, they have a thick accent, and we think that's all they are. Inside each one of us are innumerable talents and gifts that are all too easy to miss and overlook. In a sense, we're all freaks in the sideshow of life. When you don't accept your differences and you project them, there are historical consequences. Now, you may not know it, but among those that Hitler killed were many who would have traveled and performed with Jake in the sideshow. For example, Hitler killed 10,000 people for the crime of being little. While Jake was traveling the world attempting to embrace and express his differences, others were attempting to crush, stamp out, and destroy differences. And you know what? It's still going on. What aspects of you, of your family, your friends, your coworkers, what differences do you find to be unacceptable? When you embrace your own differences and you're not seduced into projecting them out onto others, it leads to creativity, transformation, and freedom. It's an essential component of tapping into all the potential that lies hidden in our perceived limitations. But this is not a fairy tale or a myth. This is a true story about a giant who found freedom through self-expression. But more than that, much more than that, it's about the giant of untapped potential in each one of us just waiting to be expressed.
The freaks will stay together. They're a tight old crew. You look at them, and they look at you. I love the ballyhoo girl, but she don't care.